He was a brutal Arab king. He had his queen executed in a fit of rage because of her misbehavior. From then on, every day he would marry a young girl and spend the night with her. But the next morning, as soon as the rooster crowed, he handed the bride over to the executioner. And so it went on for 3 years. Until one day, when the king ordered the chancellor to find the next bride, he learned that there were no more young girls of the right age in the kingdom. But he remembered that the chancellor's family had 2 daughters who had yet to be married. When he heard this, the chancellor was immediately stumped. But the king gave him 2 choices, either to find a bride before the sun went down. Even the shrewdest of chancellors didn't know what to do in the face of such a cruel decree. But then the eldest daughter stepped forward and said she would marry the tyrant. The youngest daughter was shocked. Didn't she know that she would be beheaded at dawn? And her father said she mustn't, so she might as well die herself. But Anna knew that her father had already sent over 1,000 girls to their deaths. How could she wish for a different fate? She had a plan to either repair the king's wounds and restore him to normal, or she herself would be beheaded sooner or later. Soon night fell. She appeared before the king's wrath, dressed in red to the beat of the music. Then she sang and danced, showing off her figure and her charms. The king's eyes immediately lit up. Anna walked slowly with the dance and then threw her veil behind her and spread her skirt in a charming manner. She was on her knees. She even did a fancy kneeling ceremony with a smile on her face. The king was obviously mesmerized by the woman in front of him. Once again, she moved forward slowly and tentatively to the music, and then she looked around at the king, who was staring at the same spot. At this moment, she knew she had aroused the king's curiosity. The king immediately asked her why she danced with a smile on her face when she knew she was going to die. But she wisely asked the king if she could get back his mercy by crying. At this moment, the king realized that the woman in front of him was much more interesting than the other brides. But Anna said she was nothing compared to the miracle stories. Life is like a knitting machine where the yarn keeps spinning and you never know where it's going to end. And time and stories have no end in history. But her description of the story managed to pique the king's interest in hearing more.